Greetings from Alabama. I hope you enjoy this presentation. Thank you for the opportunity of presenting to the Sustainability in a Global Environment Conference. I'm excited to take part in this virtual conference or recorded conference. So I look forward to speaking to you today about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, titled Faith-Based Organizations as Global Leaders. Now, my name is Lee Ammons. I'm the Interim Assistant Chair for the Leadership Development and Professional Studies in the College Department in the College of Education at Troy University. It's been a pleasure to serve as a lecturer there as well, and I enjoy teaching adult education courses and occupational education courses for the undergrad department. Today, I want to share just a little bit with you about my research on, again, faith-based organizations as global leaders. And I'm going to share my PowerPoint slide with you real quickly. And what I want to do is look at a couple of things that may be of interest to the audience. Now, faith-based organizations as global leaders is the title of this presentation. And I just like to say that despite international leadership across the globe from faith-based organizations, that these faith-based organizations as global leaders has been ignored and overlooked and left out of academic scholarship with very few publications. As a matter of fact, I look back over the last 30 years, and there really is not any literature pertaining to faith-based organizations as global leaders. There was an increase in publication concerning faith-based organizations during the administration of President George W. Bush in the early 2000s, from 2000 to 2008, simply because due to his public policy initiatives pertaining to faith-based organizations, but research in this area has dramatically declined since 2008. As a matter of fact, these faith-based organizations that work as global leaders help communities around the world manage famine, extreme poverty, and international crisis. This research presentation aims to contribute to the research and global leadership literature by observing faith-based organizations as global leaders. Now, one of the things that is of interest to you may be why this became an important topic for me. I currently serve as a pastor at a small rural Southern Baptist church in Geneva County. And the membership there is about 30 to 50. We average about 20 to 25 members on Sunday. And as a church, we engage in missions and work very closely with faith-based organizations. And a lot of what we do is interfaith, meaning that we work outside Southern Baptist. We work with Catholic charities. We work with Jewish charities. We've also worked with Muslim charities that work on a worldwide um, effort to help eliminate things. For example, I'll talk a few minutes about those that are needing clean drinking water. And so this research presentation aims to contribute to the global leadership and the global leadership literature by observing faith-based organizations as global leaders. Now, to be specific as possible, I want us to look at what exactly a faith-based organization is. In Berger's 2003 definition, and I'm taken from that definition, basically what we're doing is looking at religious non-government organizations, or NGOs, to be the working definition of faith-based humanitarian organizations that we'll be looking at here today. Now, the definition states that formal organizations whose identity and mission are self-consciously derived from the teaching of one or more religious or spiritual traditions, and which operates on a nonprofit, independent, voluntary basis to promote and realize collectively articulated ideas about the public good at the national or international level. Now, it's important to note that the concept of inclusivity is also an important element of this research. Every person is to some degree a prisoner of his or her own culture in the way he or she sees, excuse me, the world. Matter of fact, in the context of this research, inclusivity means that organizations accept and serve people from all different social, religious, and ethnic groups. Specifically, I want the audience to know that um, it's important that we observe faith-based organizations of the Abrahamic religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Among these faith-based organizations are people of different faiths working toward many of the same goals. As I said earlier, our church works with um, Muslim faith-based organizations, Jewish faith-based organizations, and other Christian faith-based organizations. And what we want to do is look at specifically, um, how those organizations work in an effort of global leadership. Now, I've taken Jones, Lim, and Park's 2016 definition of global leadership, and they've defined it as the leadership of individuals who influence or bring about significant positive changes in firms, organizations, and communities by facilitating the appropriate level of trust, organizational structure, and processes, and involving multiple stakeholders, resources, cultures under the various conditions of temporal, geographical, and cultural complexity. Now, it's important that, you know, we understand what a faith-based organization is by that definition, and also understand what global leadership is by this definition. But again, this presentation will cover Jewish, Christian, and Muslim faith-based organizations who serve as global leaders. Now, I've chosen um, one organization from each faith. From the Jewish faith, I want us to look at the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee, or better known as the JDC. Also, from a Catholic standpoint, we'd like to look at Catholic World Mission. From the Muslim faith, we'll look at Islamic Relief. And then finally, from a Protestant Christian viewpoint, we'll look at World Vision. Now, the first faith-based organization serving as a global leader that I want us to look at is the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee, again better known as the JDC. And according to their website, when natural disasters or other calamities strike, the JDC are the Jewish hands who help communities of all backgrounds and all faiths to rebuild. They are on the ground from the very beginning, staying long after the disaster or the need is over to make sure that those communities get back on their feet. They also bring their expertise to slow moving crises like endemic poverty, food insecurity, lack of access to health care. Also, they look at the plight of refugees in certain countries and communities, and they also seek to help people with clean drinking water. Matter of fact, the JDC knows the importance of promoting resilience and rebuilding the community, not just the road. So they look at rebuilding from a holistic standpoint, of from communities to the very most simplistic things of roads to get from point A to point B. And their website explains that's why the JDC is committed to helping people chart a new future, rebuild a sustainable local economy, and prepare to weather the next storm or crisis that may be just around the corner. The JDC does this by deploying the best of Jewish humanitarian interventions and philanthropy, Israeli tech innovation, expertise in support of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and partnerships with Jewish communities from South Africa to Morocco on social action initiatives that are lifting lives every day. You see, the JDC leads a Jewish response to global humanitarian needs, taking part in making the world a better place for all humanity. Now, the second faith-based organization that I want us to look at that's acting as a global leader, I want us to examine the Catholic World Mission. According to their website, Catholic World Mission is a Catholic charity that works to spread the message of the Catholic Church and rebuild communities worldwide. Their mission is to bridge the gap between donors and partners to uplift those in spiritual and material poverty through projects of evangelization, dignified living, and education. The generous Catholic World Mission family of supporters is made up of trusted partners such as dedicated priests, bishops, religious orders, or lay people, along with the local community itself. Catholic World Mission believes in empowering the poor and sharing the gospel of Christ. They help out wherever there is a need, irrespective of the people's faiths and their beliefs. Without recognizing the love of Christ in our lives, it's difficult to understand your purpose and God-given potential. You see, Catholic World Mission partners with communities in need and remove the obstruction of spiritual despair so people can experience spiritual and emotional growth. When they distribute aid, they are also sharing their faith. The third faith-based organization serving as a global leader is Islamic Relief. Now, according to their website, Islamic Relief was founded in 1984 in Birmingham in the United Kingdom by medical student Hane Albana in response to famine in East Africa. He and a group of other young Muslim volunteers raised Islamic Relief's first fund through collections at mosque, friends and family, and other Islamic associations. The volunteers secured £135 and established three international projects in Islamic Relief's first year of operation. These were two chicken farms in the Sudan, a shipment of biscuits and vitamins also to Sudan, and then finally a shipment of wheat flour to Mauritania. In response to growing humanitarian needs across the globe, Islamic Relief's ambitious global strategy aligns life-saving and life-changing programming with a push for systemic change. Yet in recent years, humanitarian need has grown rather than declined. And the ultimate aim of every good charity is to help create a world in which it is no longer needed, they state on their website. Now, however, despite the huge advances made, Islamic Relief has never been more needed. These challenges further marginalize the poorest, the most vulnerable, and entrench the structural inequalities that increase the spread of poverty and injustice. It sets out a path as to how Islamic Relief can fulfill their mission and deliver the most significant impact for those that they serve. Inspired by their Islamic faith and the teaching of the Quran, thus following Islamic legal doctrine which emphasizes the sanctity of every individual's life and dignity and their rights to security, health, a sustainable environment, food, shelter, and clean water. Islamic Relief has a simple single goal, according to their website, and that is to serve the most disadvantaged families and communities, regardless of their faith, race, class, disability, or gender. And then the fourth faith-based organization serving as a global leader that I want us to look at this morning is World Vision. According to their website, they're a global Christian humanitarian organization. They partner with children, families, and their communities to reach their full potential by tackling the causes of poverty and injustice. You see, they're a Christian, as in they follow Jesus' example to show unconditional love to the poor and the oppressed, serving every child they can of any faith or no faith. Their Christian faith is central to who they are. They follow Jesus' example by being an active, visible, tangible expression of God's love as they work alongside the poor and the oppressed. According to their website, their faith calls them to serve children in need of any faith or again of no faith. And they partner with leaders throughout the world, equipping them to use their influence and to make their community safer for children. Now, I'd like to take just a few minutes to share with you a personal example of how simple it is to be a global leader through one of these faith-based organizations. On Saturday, May 18th, 2024, my wife Julianne and I walked the Global 6K, joining World Vision and thousands of people around the world to walk, to run, or to even roll to make lasting clean water a reality for vulnerable communities. We joined World Vision's Global 6K for water to help children like Miangu, who is 5 years old from Mozambique, and who I personally sponsored. My wife sponsored Delcio, also from Mozambique, age 4. And Mingo was age 5 at the time when we supported him. Again, we joined World Vision's Global 6K for water to help children like Mingo and Delcio to get clean drinking water stations in their neighborhood of their local communities. You see, these two young men, ages 5 and 4, have to walk over 6 kilometers a day to fetch clean drinking water for their families. I want you to think about that's a kindergarten child in the United States or in pre-K being age 4 that have to take on an adult responsibility of getting clean drinking water for their family so they will stay healthy by promoting clean sanitation and also just a basic human need of clean drinking water. It really tore my heart to realize that these two young men are having to walk just to fetch water when other children around the world are playing soccer or baseball or other activities, but they're having to provide for their family. So I wanted to speak with you this morning about a simple way that you can help engage in the UN's sustainable goals. And that is simply pitching in, whatever your faith, to a faith-based organization, because we all have the same common goals. Every one of these religions simply stated that they want to improve communities after natural disasters. They want to help people in extreme poverty situations. They want to make sure that people have enough clothes on their back. They want to ensure that people have enough food on their plate. And they want to ensure that young people, like these children, have clean drinking water. So I take this opportunity to share this with you because I want to further this research and hopefully publish a paper examining the global impact faith-based organizations are making as global leaders. And I want to contribute more to the academic literature concerning global leadership. If you have questions about this research, I encourage you to email me at whammons, AMMONS, at Troy University, or I'm sorry, at troy.edu. And I'll be glad to answer any questions that you send my way. Also, this may be an area that you find interesting, and maybe we could publish a paper or work on some research together. So please feel free, if you're a student, to reach out, and we can work on, you know, faith-based organizations and how they are engaging in global leadership. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your dedication to global leadership. And I highly encourage each of you not only to research global leadership, but be an active participant and a global leader within your local communities. So start local and think global. Thank you, and may God bless you.